Yes, AutoChief, new week, new car, Ghana, pay attention. It's your man, Do Your Fair Japan, and I'm excited to be back once again. And this week, we are going to talk about 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE350. Pay attention. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about buying from the salvage market and saving thousands of US dollars. And so, without much ado, I'll go behind the computer and show you everything you need to know about doing this. But as always, I know you find value when you watch this channel. So as soon as you are done watching, just click on the like button. It will push the content to many more people so that they can also watch. Also, if you've not subscribed, just make sure that you click on that subscribe button. Hit on the bell notification icon. The comments, I know you've been giving me the comments, so I don't want to talk too much about that. But don't forget also to share the content. All right, thank you. Now let's go behind the computer. As you can see on your screen, the 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE class, and for our purposes today, we are going to focus on the GLE 350. And it's a beautiful car by all means. It's an SUV. So this is based on the E-Class in terms of Mercedes-Benz nomenclature. When you see the G, it just means it's an SUV, and then the E lets you know where it sits in terms of the class. Once we are on Car and Driver, what is important is we want to know about the manufacturer's suggested retail price when this car first came out in 2020. And for 2020, Mercedes did refresh it, all new redesign, so you can see it really looks good. And the starting price in terms of the manufacturer's suggested retail price was $55,245 US dollars, and it was maxing out at $78,595 US dollars. And so at this point, let's just delve into the trims. And when we talk about trims, you see, for every model, the features are different. So the manufacturers, when they say the trims, it means that they want you to know for each particular car what features it has. And so I'm going to use this one to demonstrate. I think some of my viewers have asked me that question. As you can see, pricing and which one to buy. So we go straight to the first trim. And so when you see GLE 350, it comes with certain features. That's what we call a trim. So when you see GLE 350, there are some particular things that it comes with. And a good example is that the moment you see GLE 350, then you know that it is powered by a 2.0 turbocharged engine. So that's what the benefit of these descriptions. And then what's the price? $55,245 US dollars. So that's very important. Then you move on to the second trim that says GLE 450. And today that's not our focus, but still, once again, I want you to understand what these trim names they mean. When you hear GLE 450 for Mercedes, it means that when it comes to engines, you are going to get the 3.0 turbocharged engine, and that's a V6. So these trims, they describe what features that are in the car, and that could be the engine, transmission, and as for air conditioning, these days it's quite basic, leather seating, all those things. So that's what we mean by trims. And it varies. Every car maker does different naming. Whilst Honda will be saying Touring, Toyota will say XSE. So everybody does theirs different. That's by the way of let you understand the trim. Where I've highlighted in green, I want us to pay a little bit of attention to that. And it says, after driving 2 of the 3 available powertrains, Car and Driver will suggest sticking with the entry-level turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's the GLE 350 model. In fact, for our purpose today, that's the model that we care about. And so the reason why Car and Driver is saying we should stick to that model is that despite the fact that it's the lowest powered option, it moves the GLE class along with enough authority to satisfy most drivers, and it gets better fuel economy. So it's a very good choice. First and foremost, it's a relatively big mid-size SUV, so it can handle the family and luggage and everything, so you don't have much of an issue. So that's that. And now let's move on to here. It's also important. Let's move on to the engine options, the powertrains. Let's once again read along. Models wearing the GLE350 badge are powered by a 255 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with either a rear or all-wheel drive. In Mercedes language, anytime you hear 4MATIC, it just means that it's all-wheel drive. So pay attention to that. And a 9-speed automatic transmission. So for us, once again, we are not going to continue with the GLE450 because that's not our focus for today. And now, so we are done with the pricing, we've done with the engine, transmission, and the performance. And so we are going to move on to the prices of these Mercedes-Benz GLEs on the used car market, these non-salvage versions, so that when we get to the salvage, you appreciate that there are a lot of savings. And the reason why people, especially when in Ghana, when they have the opportunity, they will always import from the salvage market, even for these luxury machines. As you can see, these are some used car prices for the 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE350, and the first one we see on our screen is one, and it's going for actually $32,099 US. And in terms of mileage, this one it has 57,408 miles. So the mileage is good. Now let's move to the second one that has 66,481 miles. And in terms of price, the asking price is $30,888 US. So it's just letting you understand that if you want a used car in terms of this 2020 Mercedes-Benz, and if it's not salvage, you are looking at least $30,000 US. So let's continue to watch some other ones. The third car we see, it has 57,960 miles, and the asking price for that is $33,977 US. And then also the fourth car, let's look at the fourth car. The fourth car has mileage of about 75,581 miles, and the asking price is $29,795 US. Let's just check out these last two so that at least we have a broad idea about their pricing. So for our fifth car, we see the mileage is 42,606, and the asking price is $35,900 US. And then our sixth and final car that we are going to use in terms of the used cars prices, we are getting one which has a mileage of 54,321 miles, and what's the asking price is $32,998. So roughly we can see that in terms of an average, we are looking at about $31,000 US for a used 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE350. So that's where we are. So now that we have that frame, let's move on to search for one of these cars on the salvage market and see what price we're going to see. So now we are going to look for an option from the salvage market, and my option always is IAAI.com, and that's where I found this example. So I found a 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE350, and I always, for my purpose, because of this work, I care about the buy now price. So when I saw the buy now price, that's $19,825 US, and after this you get auction charges, roughly about $1,000 US for the auction charge for this. And so that keeps it good. Now let's go and see the damage. Let's go and see the damage. So let's go and watch some pictures so that but before even we do that, let's watch this. Let's go through some important things. So in terms of a primary damage, which is very important to know what damage that the car has, and here let me just say that for people who do not really understand what goes on with salvage cars, these are cars that have been in accidents, and the insurance companies are saying, okay, for us, we are going to pay off, especially this in the US where most people have comprehensive insurance. So the insurance company pays off the insured, and then they release these cars to these companies, auction companies, and they will come and auction them. So just because you hear it's a salvage vehicle, or in Ghana we say accident car, it doesn't mean that the car is not repairable. The only reason why it's an advantage to us in places like Ghana is that we do have certain advantages. One is labor cost. We have very low labor cost. So to fix this car, for instance, in the US, the cost of fixing just by labor will be in thousands of US dollars. Whereas here in Ghana, the cost of fixing it labor-wise will not be in thousands of US dollars. So that's really the key advantage. And then so don't just hear salvage and say no, I don't want to see that car. No. Now let's proceed. So we've seen that the primary damage is right front. What's the secondary damage? And that is suspension. And we are going to see that in the pictures. But for me, also, understanding the art of buying from the salvage market, you always have to go for cars which have a start code of run and drive. What that simply means is that yes, the car has been involved in an accident, it has been totaled by the insurance company, the individual has been paid off, but the car, it still runs and drives. So that's a good thing when you are buying. Now we are also looking at mileage, very important. And here we get mileage 69,000 and it's actual mileage. So that's also very good. That's why I've circled them, or in fact, I've highlighted them in green. So now that we've got these, let's go and look at some of the pictures so that we can know the nature of the damage. Clearly, you can see on your screen that the damage is as described, right front. You can see the fender was hit, and I think the tire was also hit. So suspension. So clearly your damage, you're going to do something on the suspension. So, but I mean, those are not costly repairs really. And so we know that yes, the fender, but these are, when it comes to the body repairs, or what we call in Ghana body works, those are not issues for us at all. Like I say, my people at Hacho, Master Ray and his people, this is easy work as long as you have the component, the key component, in this case the suspension. As for fender is not a costly part to replace. And now if you look at the rear view of the car, you can clearly see that that part had no damage at all. Very, very clean car. And if you look at the left side, the driver's side, it's so clean. I mean, it's like it's spotless from that side. So your real work is only going to happen on the right side. And yes, you can see. So this is very clear. You look for the suspension part, and then you purchase it mostly from the junkyard so that you can get them at a good price. And now for a car like a Mercedes-Benz 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE, I would have ordinarily said that you can get a part at Abosuokan. But for these luxury cars, when you are shopping for them and shopping for their parts, you are better off shopping for them overseas, because when they come here, they are often, the prices are inflated. All right, so let's continue to look at other side. And when you look at the front, you can see yes, the damage is still on but even the grille is intact. The left side headlight is intact, so not really a lot of crazy work to be done. And then when you get to the engine is spotless, it's clean, nothing affected the engine, so that's very good. And this engine, once again, here let me mention my sponsors, Totachi Ghana. When you import this 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 into town, do not worry about maintenance, because Totachi, my sponsors, what they do have is that they have all lubricants, engine oils, transmission fluids for this machine. For engine oil, they have the Eurodrive 5W40, and that meets and exceeds Mercedes-Benz approval MB 229.5 MB 229.51 MB 229.52, and that's on that side. But when even you get to the transmission also, they do have a fully synthetic transmission fluid for this 9-speed automatic gearbox that Mercedes supplies. So when you bring this car, when it comes to maintenance, the only name is Totachi. All right, so we can move on to see the interior. Yes, oh, and this has a supreme interior, beige interior. It looks good. This is just, it looks just luxurious. In fact, gorgeous. Too many adjectives to describe. But when you look at the interior, that's when you understand that this vehicle, the accident didn't really have any major damage because none of the airbags got deployed, which means in terms of safety, everything is still perfect. So that's very good. Once again, when you're shopping on the Salvage, airbag deployment, I think that you want to be cautious about, because if there's no airbag deployment, it just means that yes, you see, let's say a rather cosmetic damage. In this case, is the fender and then the suspension. So relatively good. Let's look at the next picture for the. Look at it. When you look at the back seat here, you can also, appreciate the color, the beige and black combination. And in terms of leg room and everything, this is a GLE after all, so there's a lot of leg room. Your children are going to enjoy in the back, and they'll be really excited that now daddy has moved away from the RAV4s, the CRVs, and mommy has brought a Mercedes to the family. So that's why I'm saying that don't just always concentrate on the mainstream vehicles when you're shopping on the salvage market. Sometimes you have to do the analysis and see whether it's worth going to the luxury side. All right, so the Mercedes key fob. I know guys who have the Mercedes, they usually hang these key fobs on themselves by their side of their trousers or pants, as Americans call it. So this is it, the 3-star, silver star, luxury, heritage. Let's look at some additional pictures. This picture, you can see the mileage being confirmed, 69,000 miles. That's the mileage, 69,000 miles. I mean, still under 100,000 miles, so that's good. Now let's watch this now. And then here you see manufactured by Mercedes-Benz USA International. So of course it's manufactured, in terms of this, we all know it's just assembly. It was assembled in the USA, but under contract for Mercedes-Benz AG Stuttgart. So it's still a German machine. But why I want us to pay attention to this screen is the date of manufacture. It was manufactured in June. This particular one was manufactured in June 2020. So assuming you are bringing this, you want to bring it after June. No, not bring it after June. You want to ensure that when you ship it to Ghana, it will arrive after June, because you want that 5-year depreciation for the duty. That's always good. It brings your costs down. Yeah, but I think by and large we've covered everything about the Mercedes 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE, from the manufacturer's suggested retail price to the prices on the used car market, the non-salvage, and then we've also looked at the prices on the salvage market. So before we go, for sticking around up to this point, I will have to give you a bonus, and the bonus is going to be the import duty value. Yes, but before we get there, I need a favor from you. Please, if you're not already a subscriber, please, this is the time that you must click on that button, because it helps the channel to grow. And also, this is so important, every time you finish watching AutoChief's content, just like the content, so that YouTube, the algorithm, will just push the content many more people to watch. Don't forget to comment, and I appreciate all of you in the comment section for all the positive energy, all the support, and share also, so we can just continue to grow the channel. Now let's just move on to the business. Yes, so we are where it matters. And here we are going to look at the import duty for the Mercedes-Benz GLE 350. And how are we able to know? Because this ICAM's GRA document doesn't state that it's a GLE 350, but we are able to know because we went through the trims and we realized, or we actually learned, that the GLE 350 is the one that starts around 56,000. So there you see the HDV, which customs GRE, they use it in place of manufacturer's suggested retail price. So they have it here. So that tells us that this is particular example that we are watching is a Mercedes-Benz GLE 350. And what is the duty? The duty paid was 177,152 Ghana cedis and 36 pesos. Again, 177,152 Ghana cedis and some 36 pesos. And so when was this payment made? The payment was made on the 13th of February 2025, so that's about 2 months ago. Bringing me to the end of the video. Why is it this important to you? Because perhaps you've had a Toyota Corolla, a Honda Civic, you've probably even moved on to a CR-V or a RAV4, but now you're looking to buy a luxury machine, because now in terms of your desire for a car, you've moved beyond just moving from point A to point B. Now you want performance, you want luxury, and that's why these days I'm going to be giving you some of these videos as well, so that you see the options when it comes to the luxury side. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. I appreciate you. I want to appreciate you for all the good work you've been doing, my video director. So Ghana, until next video, I say, Medase.